Thank you. Chairman Moses and members of the committee, thank you for your attention and allowing me to speak today and hearing this bill. Thank you for your time investment in this important policy. I've submitted a more complete version of my testimony for the record, but for the sake of time today, I'll briefly summarize it. As a parent and a legislator, this issue weighs heavy on my heart. I've watched with growing concern as children struggling with gender dysphoria, beautiful, unique kids who are trying to find their place in the world, are being rushed into chemical puberty blockers and surgeries as solution. Today, I want to speak directly to those kids first and foremost. You are enough, just as you are. You don't need to change a thing to be worthy of love and belonging. And to parents and policymakers, I say that we owe these children help, not harm. This bill prohibits chemical and surgical transitioning of children and removes the medical license of any healthcare professional who provides or refers a child for these procedures. This bill isn't about judgment or exclusion. It's about protection and care. Why would we want to prohibit healthcare providers from performing, facilitating, or referring minors under 18 for chemical or surgical gender transitions? Because the science doesn't back these interventions. And because kids, with their still developing hearts and minds, can't fully grasp what they are agreeing to. I know this is a sensitive topic, and I feel deeply for every family wrestling with these challenges. As a society, we have a duty to ensure medicine heals, not hurts, especially when it comes to our children. History shows us that medicine can get it wrong. Earlier this century, we saw an explosion in opioid misuse by healthcare professionals who thought they were being compassionate. We just heard testimony on a bill that addressed some of that issue. From the 1950s through the 1970s, endocrinologists prescribed human growth hormones to manipulate the height of tall girls and shorter boys, with terrible consequences. Today, nations like Finland, Sweden, the UK, and others, places known for quality health care, are stepping back from medical gender interventions for kids after reviewing the evidence that they've gathered over 30-plus years. They've found there's no solid long-term evidence that these interventions improve mental health or well-being. I've asked hospitals, organizations, anyone to show me the studies. What I've received, well, small, short-term snapshots just don't hold up. Even the World Professional Association of Transgender Health, a supposed leading voice in this field, has been exposed as lacking scientific rigor, according to leaked documents from 2024. Meanwhile, the best analyses, like one from the Obama-era Medicare team, found no clear benefit to these procedures. Before me are two thick 3-ring binders filled with research my staff and I have done on this topic over the last several years. The sheets are double-sided, totaling 1,200 pages. This research includes everything that we could find that was relevant in asking whether chemical or surgical transitions help children. I'm willing to make this research available in electronic format to anyone who might like a copy. Not all my research is academic. I've had conversations with parents, with minors, as well as adults who have transitioned and survivors of the transition industry. Many of these survivors wanted to be here today, but they are in Washington, D.C. for the National Detransitioners Day. I've learned so much from their lived experience, and they tell me that this legislation is the right thing to do. Again, this is not a theoretical or academic exercise. I ache for kids caught in this uncertainty. I believe children deserve better than experimental treatments that have lifelong consequences. Brittle bones, lost fertility, heart issues, and risks they can't fully understand at the age of 12 or 15. Brain science tells us that the prefrontal cortex, that portion of our brain, the part that weighs long-term choices, isn't mature until around 25. If you add in peer pressure and social media and sometimes even scare tactics from adults like, transition or lose your child, and it's clear that meaningful consent just isn't possible. As the senator suggested, we don't let kids drink or smoke or sign contracts, among a number of other restrictions, even if the parents authorize an exception for their children, and for a reason. Why would we let them make these medical intervention decisions? This isn't about denying care. It's about offering real help, therapy, support, and time. All work wonders. Studies show most kids with gender dysphoria will desist. They will grow into comfort with their bodies if we let them mature naturally. Not all, but most. Yet too often we're rushing them toward irreversible steps, guided by adults who mean well, but lack evidence, or who may be victims of inappropriate advice. I implore empathy for every struggling child, every worried parent, every voice in this debate. Help, not harm, is a plea to choose evidence over trends, to safeguard the vulnerable, and to give kids the chance to grow up whole. I urge you to join me in putting their well-being first. Thank you.